My crazy co-worker accused me of sleeping with his wife and is convinced their daughter is mine. But I'm gay and engaged to a man. I've been friends with my coworker for 4 years, and he just had his first daughter after 4 boys. His sons are carbon copies of him, bleach blonde straight hair, and freckled, tan skin. Their daughter had a full head of red hair that's already starting to curl, just like her mom. As a redhead myself, I gasped when I saw her and said, "Oh my god, it finally happened. The red is alive." My friend then says, "Yeah, don't bank on that staying. My genes are strong after all." His wife rolled his eyes and I shrugged it off as a weird joke at first, but the entire time I was there, he pretty much kept going on about how his genes would prevail. For 3 weeks straight, my friend would complain about how little of himself he sees in his daughter, how much of a stranger she is for it, and that some days he thinks he's looking at another person's baby. He only ever seemed to want to complain to me about it, which should have been a red flag, but it was just weird at the time. After the 5th day in a row, I started trying to explain how genetics work, pretty much saying genes aren't going to always drastically go one way. 3 days ago, he came into work just itching for an argument with everyone. Our mutual friend asked him what his deal was after he shouted at someone for asking a work-related question. That's when he blew up saying his daughter isn't his, that his cheating WHRE of a wife won't admit it, and he knows exactly who she was sleeping around with. He then looked over at me and yelled to get my butt outside. When I asked why, he started screaming that he's not stupid, he knows I've been trying to kiss butt to avoid this beat down. I'm just so confused at this point because I'm gay and engaged to a man. There are pride stickers all over my car and he knows I'm gay. I seriously thought he was joking about all of this, and I couldn't help but laugh at him. It was just so bizarre, and I know I wasn't the only one looking at him like he was insane either. I told him that his daughter has half of his wife's genetics, you know, the redhead with curls? I said that his wife wasn't an incubator for his genetics, and asked him why he was so obsessed with their kids needing to look exactly like him. He wouldn't answer and just kept telling me to get up before he dragged me out to the parking lot. I told him I'm not going to fight him on something this ridiculous, and asked him if he was trying to get fired. He then demanded something outrageous. He wanted me to take a paternity test. There was no way he was serious. He said I spend a lot of time with his wife, so I must have effed her. I reminded him that her and I were just part of the same friend group, and we never did anything. When I suggested he take a paternity test for himself, he argued that he's not paying for a test, he knows the truth too. Well, same here. I know I didn't sleep with his wife and I know that his daughter is not mine. The exchange ended when our shift manager came in for her break. Afterwards, I told his wife everything that happened. The next day, I woke up to a bunch of messages and missed calls/threatening voicemails from my friend because his wife kicked him out. His wife texted me a few times to apologize on his behalf. She said they were getting a paternity test and she's filing for divorce, especially because she has no idea why he'd think such a thing. After, my friend texted me that he took a paternity test and when the test comes back with the truth he'd F me up in court for what I've done, how I've ruined not only his life, but his kids' lives and everyone in their families' lives too. He even went around telling all of our coworkers that I'm the dad. That's when I finally agreed to the test, and told him he may as well quit his job and just vanish after this because it's going to be embarrassing when I walk in with the paperwork and wave it around saying I'm not the daddy to his red-headed child. He's then going to have to explain to everyone, including his own children, what an absolute idiot he is. Then there was something I didn't expect at all. My friends have been giving me the cold sure. They said they don't think I'm the dad for sure, but I'm a trash friend for going straight to his wife and getting him thrown out of his own house. Now he's being forced to sleep in his truck, and they think I should have just agreed to the paternity test to begin with, instead of stirring up drama and getting unnecessary people involved. I know I'm right and don't care what they think. I'm just waiting for the test now to prove to everyone how wrong they were. My crazy co-worker accused me of sleeping with his wife and is convinced their daughter is mine. But I'm gay and engaged to a man. Part 2. My friend accused me of sleeping with his wife because his daughter doesn't look like him. He thinks she's my kid because we both have curly red hair, but so does his wife. He blew the whole thing out of proportion and his wife kicked him out of their house. I've gotten a paternity test just to prove him wrong and I'm waiting on the results. In the meantime, I found out from my coworkers that my friend has always been suspicious of me hanging around his wife because he doesn't believe that I'm gay. He thinks I don't act the way a gay man should, whatever that means. When his wife first got pregnant with his daughter, he started making weird jokes that this one may come out a redhead with how much his wife hangs out with me, but he slowly started changing. He seemed like he genuinely meant it and started grasping at straws when our work friends would call him paranoid, claiming he'd come home to the bed all crumpled up. Mind you, they have 3 big dogs that exclusively sleep in their bed with them. He'd sworn that he'd caught us kissing on more than one occasion, yet never confronted us. The most I've done is give her a peck on the cheek, which is a customary greeting in my culture. He also swore that we were always acting like intimate lovers, so much so that he apparently has dozens of messages from people frequently messaging him asking if they were divorcing because of us. I personally don't believe that for a second because he's a confrontational guy, he doesn't think before he acts. So if what he was saying was true, I would have gotten a beating a long time ago. Now what's made the drama unfold is that he put little cameras in bookcases around the living area, kitchen, and dining area. I reached out to his wife about that, and she confirmed this was true. I asked if they had audio, she admitted they did, but she doesn't even have access to them. They're linked to an app on her husband's phone that only he has access to. I asked why and she emptied her guts in tears. A few months before she got pregnant, he confronted her about her friendship with me, several times in fact. He didn't trust her with any male friends, and hardly liked her talking to her own male family members. For her to prove herself that she's loyal to him, her phone was set up to where text messages she received and sent also went to his phone. He even had all her passwords to her apps like she was a child needing supervision on the internet. But even with all that, he still thought we were having an affair and asked her to drop me as a friend. When she refused over his personal insecurities, he decided right then and there we were having an affair and got cameras installed. I asked if he had accused her about her daughter not being his, and she admitted that he kept bouncing back and forth on accepting that she's his and then pulling a 180 saying he knows she's not. It really sucked that he had been watching us for God knows how long. Even if she was scared about telling us about the cameras, she could have told us not to go to her house anymore. We all shared deep things at her house, and her husband would just sit there and watch. She pretty much said she can't undo it, but she's taken down all the cameras for the time being until the tests come back. I asked if she was seriously considering taking him back, what exactly her plan was then for when it does 100% come back he's the dad. She said that he'd agreed to couples counseling if it did and would make sure everyone knew the cameras were there. I told her she needs to tell the others about him having potential harmful videos on his phone of them. She tried to argue that he'd never post them or send them to other people, he isn't that kind of man. I argued back that this is the same man that tried to take me outside to fight, posted all over what a WH she is, slandered my name, and is still actively slandering me. There was a lot of back and forth, but she finally agreed she would tell them. The backlash she got was pretty intense. 2 of them blocked her off everything, having been texting me to tell me that they just don't feel safe anymore being her friend. The third is on the fence, because she doesn't want her to feel any more alienated than she already has been, but is also worried about him posting the videos or sending them to their families out of petty revenge since she vented about an abortion she never told her very pro-life family about that could very well get her disowned. It's just a hot mess. At least her husband finally got his results and he's the dad. What a shock. He's pretty much destroyed a lot of lives now, she successfully alienated herself, and I had to block his entire family off Facebook. I'm just done with all of this.